It is glass day. My friend Jason has arrived. He's off to go and get his boots on. I've masking taped and bubble wrapped crucial areas. First thing I need to do, well, we're going to do the quarter lights first. This is my box of SD1 bits and pieces, and in here we have these clips hold the chrome trim that is integral with the quarter light glass. So you have this rubber plastic spacer that kicks it up like that, and this clip sits on top. Can't remember which way around it goes, that way or that way, I'll have to check. But yeah, the whole lot gets riveted on, and then once the quarter light is sucked in, the chrome should just pop down onto these clips. So I've got my rivet gun, I've got some masking tape to protect all that, and some rivets. This is Jason with his top quality polishing action. I invited him round to do all the fun stuff like cleaning up bits of glass and stuff, but he did turn up in a rather nice Rover 800 diesel which has a VM in it. Yeah, he doesn't want me to get too close to it, but that is a very rare car in an extremely rare colour as well. What's the colour? Willow?
No, woodcut green.
Woodcut green. And it's a 2.5 VM with a KKK turbocharger. It's just like the bigger brother of my one. But anyway, more cleaning. I've got a razor blade to go round the real stubborn on bits and any weld spatter, which is all coming off rather well. And Jason is cleaning up the chrome trims. We'll give them a bit of a rub with Brasso afterwards. Glass is now clean, and we've polished up these stainless rails. They'll be polished up a little bit more once it's all together on the car, but there's no point going mega crazy at the moment. I am now cleaning up the seals. They are brand new old stock ones, because getting the old ones out without damaging them is super hard, and even when you do, most of the time that metal bit is rusted. So I'm going to clean all of this bird shit and dust, storage dust, with brake cleaner. And I did also have this stuff because I thought perhaps that might make it a little bit more flexible. I don't know, probably not. So I'm not going to bother wasting my money spraying that everywhere, but I will clean these off and get these sticky shitty labels off. It's the moment of trepidation, or the first of many. We have now got to, oh, that's even the wrong tube, that doesn't help. Ignore the Tiger Seal. Butyl non-setting window sealer has got to be pumped into that seal all the way around, then fit the glass in it. When I take these apart, the easiest way to do it is to bend off this corner first. So that's the one I'm going to put on last. So pump it full of butyl, poke the glass in the back, up in that corner, and then pull and bend that round. Then we can lube this lower section up with WD-40 and slide the chrome trim on, because that's actually how the chrome trim fits to the glass. And then you've got one solid sort of assembly to go into the car. And in readiness, I now have my riveted clips for the chrome bits to press over. This bit will be covered by a trim piece. It's really just getting the glass into the seal, then the seal pulled through over that lip, and that is not going to be fun. This is the actual sealer I'm using. Permanently plastic butyl, or butyl rubber. This is actually a British company, I believe, so they are good. I just buy it off eBay. You can get it in grey, white or black, but I've gone for black. And I've got one brand new tube, one probably quarter full, and whatever's in that one probably a quarter full. So yeah, cork it into the seal, and then time to get messy. We have got a load in there. Jason held the screwdriver in the crack and then pulled the seal to him while I just pumped it in. Now we have another next happy fun messy job of poking that in there and yeah, levering. That is in, and to be honest, it was not as difficult as I'd anticipated. Did the bottom end first, pushed the glass that way, pushed the seals on both sides. That top corner went on, and then this corner went on really easily. So now we will fit the chrome strip and fit more butyl in the inner seal, add the string, and then fingers crossed. This is the string we are using. This came from an actual windscreen supplier's place. Bought it off eBay. I was going to buy paracord, but I'm glad I've got this now because it does something that I didn't realise, which is the cross section actually reduces when it's tensioned. Most paracords, the good stuff, doesn't. So hopefully when that is in and pulled, it'll get thinner and want to come out of the hole. This has now had butyl in it. The idea is I'll cut a length of this cord. I've got 10 meters, so I'm not exactly short of it. And then feed it through that edge there. And then these two bits will cross over and then the tails will be taped up onto the glass. Then Jason will offer it up from the outside, I'll sit in the boot, and then I'll do the scary thing of pulling the rope and hoping it lifts this bead over into the car. And it will probably start off fine, and then it will get very, very much harder to the point where we kick and scream, have hissy fits, throw things around, and then go and have a cup of tea, and then call a glazing expert. This is probably not a how-to guide, this is a how we're attempting to do it. We've put the glass in from the outside, and then Jason was holding it here while I lifted that part of the seal up with this tool, and then we pushed the whole glass backwards so that this corner is now in. So we haven't actually done anything with the strings yet, and I might actually continue to use this method just for the moment because it seems to be working, and then we'll rely on the string for this last bit up here. Well, what started out so well turned into an unmitigated disaster. The cord, even with the best of intention, just saws its way through the rubber seal. It's like the rubber seal isn't flexible enough. It doesn't pull and bend. It just breaks.
So it's got no guts to it, is it?
No, it's like it's
old and
shit, basically. Brilliant. Right, so we're gonna go and have a cup of tea, I think. That was terrible. Didn't quite have a hissy fit, but it's completely fucked.
It's not gone since we were doing it.
It just fell off. But yeah, part of that is me probably pulling too hard. Part of it is it's an old seal, even though it's brand new to me. But we will persevere and we will have a go at the other side, but with a slightly revised technique. Rather than the string overlapping at the bottom edge there, probably do it here, because that I could get in and pull this seal most of the way through. So if I can start that bit as well, then maybe with a bit of WD-40 more levery pokey screwdrivers. But these corners, I mean, that in particular, I've watched a professional screen fitter do this 4 times, and every single time he's torn it here or there. So I know that this is a pain, and yeah, just have to buy a new seal and hope I don't fuck the other one. Right, we have had a cup of tea. We have prepared the glass for the other side of the car, and you know that golden rule of don't do the same dumb thing twice and expect a different outcome. Well, I've changed the routing of this. This time I've pushed the glass or the seal more onto the glass to get any sort of compliance or, you know, additional thickness out of there. This seal initially did feel a bit different, and I don't know whether it's because I'd left it in the sun, but as soon as it's out of the sun it just goes a bit funny anyway, so I'm not going to bother trying to preheat it. And yeah, just gonna try fitting that back end in. I'll use the glass and trim removal tool and some WD-40 to feed as much of this on as I can. Then when we get to the front, I've got these ropes overhanging to try and start that lip, but I'm not optimistic because it just feels like it's an impossible task to do this. Ah, fuck, I just thought of something else. With the rope in here, I won't be able to push the seal back far enough to get that started. Head scratching. Have modified the plan. This now has no string in it. We just have strings from there to there and there to there. And this time I'm going to be less reliant on pulling the string and more reliant on WD-40 and my windscreen removal and trim removal plastic spatula things to try and lift this over, and then I'll only rely on the string where I'm not making progress. Where we want to, yeah, that's the optimistic way, where we want to tear it. Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, right, you feeling good?
No. But it's your car, so I'm feeling great.
Yeah, well, that's about it. Let's have a crack. Smile, Jason. This one is going much better.
Yeah.
We cut the string so that there was no string in that rear channel. That meant we could push the glass back all the way, so that now we've got a lot more possibility of getting that lip over. I've been using the WD-40, my plastic trim tool and a screwdriver just to lever as I've been pulling the string. Just pulling it over slightly. I've got to that corner. I'm going to stop there because I'll break it if I do it myself. But basically, if you get the string at the right angle, and I've watched other videos, I think even Mark's Garage did one like this where they did it around in circles and it teased it out really nicely. Yeah. Ooh. So I'm going to stop there and put the camera down, but that's basically what I'm doing. I've got to do the top lip along here, then the nasty corner, and then hopefully we're on the home run down there. But yeah, fingers crossed. This one is going much better so far. No tears. And what I would say is this seal did feel actually quite a lot different to the other one. So I think this is better rubber, which is part of the other problem. Happy Jason.
Happy me, yeah.
Very happy me. Very hot and sweaty me. That is in. We have one ever so tiny tear up there which you cannot see, and a couple that
I will always notice there, James.
yeah, you'll take great delight in pointing it out. But yeah, basically it's in there. What I've discovered is you cannot, or I cannot, with these seals rely just on pulling the string. It just doesn't work. It will tear it, even if you pull it at the right angle. So what I was doing was using the screwdriver ahead of the string to begin lifting the lip, and then the string to pull the last of the lip over. And it's definitely one of those slowly catchy monkey type jobs. You cannot rush it. You cannot do what I did on the other side, just go and pull on the string like you see on all the other YouTube videos. It is very much ignore probably what I'm saying, a lot of what you see on other videos, and just each seal is probably going to be different and each piece of string is going to be different. And just take your time. But yeah, I'm over the moon that is in. I think I won't even need Jason's help to do the other one when the new seal turns up. Sadly, you won't get pizzas and tea, but you won't have to drive fucking 50 miles down here and then 50 miles home. Yeah,
In an 800 series.
yeah, and people staring at you, stopping you at petrol stations to talk to you about your awesome car. Right, let's go prep the tailgate. Over yonder, that is the original diesel tailgate, but when I got the car I had to put a 9-inch grinder through the tailgate lock to open it, which scattered burny sparks everywhere. And after that I was a bit crap at how I masked it off, so that glass is really for the bin. But I have this one. This is off a very rotten tailgate, but the glass is good. There's no point salvaging that seal, because when the car has rusted like that, the rubber is impregnated with the rust, and I don't want to put that in a brand new tailgate. So I'm just going to get a Stanley knife and cut that seal, lift the tailgate off it, then we can pull the chromes out, clean everything up, and then reassemble it into the new seal. Ta-da! Glass removed by cutting the seal. Weirdly, it's so frustrating. This rubber is so supple and tough, and it I don't know whether it's made from different stuff, but that was lovely. But to actually get all the rust out of all of these grooves just is impractical. You can still see the original butyl sealer. This stuff was done not from a caulking gun, but probably the ribbon stuff that you buy. So there's sealer not only between the tailgate and the body, but between the glass and the rubber in there. But the bit in there is all dried up and gone horrible. You can see it delaminating. The bit under there, it's done quite differently. And yeah, if I'd have known that, I might have bought some of that stuff. Basically biting a roll and it sticks in there and seals like a bitch. But never mind. I very nearly did have a big fat fail, and that is I was trying to pull the tailgate glass out of the car, forgetting that the rear wash wiper was still bolted to the metal bit, so I nearly snapped the glass, but fortunately Jason realised, otherwise I would have been crying. So gonna clean this up. Jason's up the top cleaning up the chrome trims, and then we'll stop for lunch, I think. Using a razor just to get the old sealer off the glass and trying not to cause any additional damage. But you can see this is the old butyl. It's just gone hard. That's why I'm so impressed. I mean, that butyl comes in the caulking gun, same as what I'm using. But this stuff that's on the roll to still be tacky, what, 30 years ago, 40 years ago? It's 40 years. That car was 40 years old. So pretty impressive. This is a measure of how much of a loser I am. Just that piece of glass and the shape of it, the curve that way and that way, excites me because I know it's from an SD1. I just like SD1s. I don't know what it is, but that is now a nice piece of glass. The electrodes, or whatever you want to call them, that pick up on the frame are all still bonded on, which is good. Sometimes they come off, but I'll leave that to dry. We'll go and have some lunch, and then we can start fitting the seals and preparing the rest of it. In other good news, again, the benefits of being a hoarder, I have found that seal. I can't work out whether it's brand new old stock or second hand, but it certainly isn't rusty. And that is of course the side that we broke earlier. So that is going to go on the car. So maybe we will have all the rear glass done by the end of today. Fingers crossed. There is a tiny split in this one. I spotted up there, which makes me think it has been fitted to a car. But there's no real rust or anything, so maybe it hasn't. Whatever, it's going in. Back from lunch. This is the new seal. It works in a similar way to the other one. Butyl between the seal and the glass, and then the same between the... Are they scratches? No. Oh, they might be scratches. Oh well, they'll polish out. Yeah, what was on about? Butyl between the seal and the glass, and between the body and the seal. But the complicating factor is the chromes. The chromes sit in that channel there, this one, and at the bottom of the groove is actually a 90-degree return. I don't know whether you can see that there, just at the tip of this finger. The idea being that these, I call them chromes, they're just stainless, but that 90-degree bit on the bottom there engages in the seal and locks it all together. So in the order of assembly, butyl, seal on the glass, chromes inserted into there and clipped in so that they fit into that 90-degree bend at the bottom, and then more butyl, shove it in the car. Rubber seal on, stainless trims in. There is a fair bit to this that initially you might not realise. So if you're doing this at home, absolutely guarantee, like double check that this chrome is sitting nicely against the inboard edge. Don't worry too much about this side, as that will get pushed up when the thing is put into the car. But if you start putting this glass in and this chrome is not engaged with that rubber on this side, it will never go back in. You can't push it down from the outside. It just won't be able to do it. So it's really worth teasing this lip down and pushing that chrome so it's definitely engaged on that inboard side. So I'm really happy that that is done all the way around. Some of the twists and lumpy bumpy bits which we had from the way the seal had been stored, they don't look so bad now, and I'm really hoping that when it's in the car that just sits flat. It should do, but I can't guarantee it. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, we can always clamp it down. Well, hopefully even more will squidge out.
Then it will press out.
Yeah, so we might do that. So next stage, butyl in that seal under there for the bodywork, and then I'll sling it in the car. And this time I'm going to do the double string method. I'm going to put one string along the bottom, one along the top, so the two tails either side in midships, and then hopefully a bit of jiggery pokery and we'll be set, we'll be good. What have you found?
Nothing. I was just checking that this is all right. I thought I saw a break in it, but it was just the difference in coloration.
Yeah, I doubt it'll work, but
yeah, well, just you're not going to use it in the winter, are you, James?
no, it's never going out in it's just a dry weather car now. One thing Jason and I noticed is that in this tailgate there was no butyl in the actual seam between the seal and that return, which is quite different to how I expected it would be. Instead, it had the butyl on the surface that the upper part of the seal sits on. So what we've done is flip the glass over and just put a smear of sealer all the way on that lip. I've got my strings in, crossed over. One string will do the top, and one string will do the bottom. This is still very much a suck it and see. It might be that we take the bottom string out entirely so that we can put the bottom lip of the glass in the car and then string the top. I don't know, we'll just have to throw it in and see what happens. But that is what we shall do. Glass is lifted in position. In all of my careful masking, I'm gonna remove because I don't want that stuck between the seal and this. So now that the glass is in place, that can come off. We've still got the string in the bottom at the moment and we're just gonna suck it and see really. I'll climb in the boot in a moment and assess whether or not it's going to be a help or a hindrance. I'm not going to lie, that was a complete twat of a job and I didn't think it was going to go. We tried several different ways. The string didn't work in the end. We literally had to just force it in with plastic trim clip things, brute force. There's a couple of bits. This area here is where the seal was really badly stored and twisted and torn. Nothing we could do really other than, you know, fight it. We did, and it's in, but oh my days, that was a fight. I'm going to get a mallet and just tap it down all the way around with like a soft mallet to try and see that chrome a bit better without bruising it while the butyl is still gooey soft, and then we can have a drink and cool down a bit. Jason and I are both very smug. Smug. This is my sweaty smug face. This has been a very, very hot and frustrating day in many ways, but we have achieved what I wanted to, which is both quarter lights in and tailgate glass in. Yes, I had one ruined trim or one ruined seal, but happening to have a spare one paid dividends. This I did go and wallop it with a piece of wood, and that now sits much more flush, so I'm really happy.
Well, you actually leave it from the inside.
Oh, that's also, yeah, I opened the tailgate and then I pulled with my fingers the rubber on the inside, which allowed that stainless to drop in. Got a lot of cleanup to do. It looks like some child has done some crazy finger painting all across the back of my car, but it is just butyl and it will rub off with some thinners. There are no scrape marks in the paint, and I know other people have been concerned that I might have scratched the front wings leaning over and working on them, but I guarantee I haven't, because I always just wear really soft clothes, so that is all just grubby hand marks. But that is the end of the video, an end of a very satisfying day. What I would say is the string method does work, but you've got to be really mindful of where you put it, and actually in some cases it can get in your way more than it assists. So when we did this quarter light just now, it took us about 5 minutes to do the whole thing. Didn't put any string in that bit, just put string from here to here, wedged the whole glass in, pushed it back as far as it could, used a screwdriver and a plastic thing to lever the seal on the inside to there, and then just stringed the rest. Right, well, I'm signing off. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye. Bonus postscript. Jason has gone home. I'm tidying up bits and pieces, getting all the grubby fingerprints off. Just fitted the trim clip this side and realised that somebody might be interested in how that's done or how I'm doing it. You can just see the little sharp teeth under there. So first off, I'm dropping my tool. rotating it so it's parallel like so. Ugh. Would have helped if I hadn't put masking tape underneath it, but there you go. Then I'm gonna lower this down until the bottom edge clips over those two prongy bits, which I probably won't be able to do single-handed, but we'll have a go. But basically, you get the bottom one first. Right, no, it's still slipped off. Right, so you put the bottom on first and then the top rolls over and clips on, and that's that done. Same with this end. Where is it? There it is. So I might go on one-handed. There we go. Easy as that. Right. Paintwork is all nice. Just a few smears. And I will carry on cleaning. I'm using a bit of brake cleaner and an old microfiber. Doing the bodywork first because that's the bit I want to save. The glass I can razor later once it's flashed off a bit more. Bye.